In Afghanistan, the Taliban have announced an interim government 3 weeks after they took control of most of the country. Today, hundreds of protesters, including many women, took to the streets of the capital, Kabul, chanting slogans against neighbouring Pakistan, whose government they accuse of supporting the Taliban. Our correspondent, Secunder Kermani, with camera journalist Malik Mudassir, have sent this report.
Death to Pakistan, the crowd chant. They're furious at what they believe is the country's support for the Taliban, including, they allege, in taking over Panjshir, the last province to be captured by the group.
Pakistan has directly attacked our country. We don't want Pakistan to announce the government here. Afghanistan is a free country. We women and men are not the same as those 20 years ago who were being whipped into submission.
But Pakistan says the Taliban are Afghan. It's got nothing to do with them.
I accept the Taliban are Afghans, but behind them is Pakistan. They gave them this ideology.
Pakistan says it's always worked for peace in Afghanistan. Taliban members initially appear to allow the protesters to march through the city.
This is the biggest challenge to the Taliban's authority that we've seen so far, and it's not coming from a militia force. It's coming from peaceful protesters, from both women and men.
And amongst the protesters, some not afraid to directly criticize the group.
We demand freedom of speech, democracy, national resistance against the Taliban.
Aren't you afraid?
We are not afraid of death. We are the young generation and will bring the bud of freedom. Our voices will make history.
At a Taliban press conference, the group rejected what they termed propaganda about Pakistan's influence. This evening, they finally announced their new government, naming Mullah Haibatullah Emir or supreme leader of the country, Mullah Hassan Akund as caretaker prime minister, and Sirajuddin Haqqani, wanted by the FBI, as Minister of Interior.
There's no women in the cabinet. What message do you think that sends out?
We haven't announced all the ministries and deputies yet, so it's possible this list will be extended.
Back at the protest, convoys of Taliban vehicles made their way to the site. Eventually, fighters fired shots in the air to disperse the crowd. Dissent is not something the Taliban is used to. Secunder Kermani, BBC News, Kabul.